Okay, I'm an adult. I can deal with this. I can't. This is from my good friend Liz. This is the next video. This book is stressing me out already. This is chapter 9 of Ella Enchanted. I'm stressed out. Excuse me. We passed through rich farmland. On the final day of our journey to Jen, the town where our finishing school was located, the day was hazy and warm, and I was almost too hot to be hungry. Hattie had energy for only one command. I need Jesus right now. To fan her. Fan me too, Olive said. She had worked out that if Hattie told me to do something, I would do it, and if she directed me to do the same thing, I would do that too. Great. Well, there goes my chance to be like, oh, Olive doesn't really know what's going on. Hattie hadn't explained my obedience to her. She didn't bother to explain much to the slow-thinking Olive. She must have enjoyed keeping that delicious secret to herself. My arms ached. My stomach rumbled. I stared out the window at a flock of sheep and wished for a diversion that would take my mind away from lamb and lentil salad. My wish was granted instantly as the coach took off in a mad gallop. Ogres! The coachman yelled. A cloud of dust hid the road behind us. Through it I made out a band of ogres kicking up dust as they chased us. But we were outdistancing them. The cloud was receding. Why do you run from your friends? One of them called. It was the sweetest voice I'd ever heard. We bear gifts of your heart's desires, riches, love, eternal life. Heart's desire? Mother, the ogres would bring her back from death. Why were we tearing away from everything we most wanted? It's a trick. Slow down, Hattie ordered unnecessarily. The coachman had already reined in the horses. Gosh! The ogres were only yards... This is already terrifying. The ogres were only yards behind, untouched by their magic. The sheep were baaing and bleating their fear. Briefly their noise covered the honeyed words, and the spell broke. I remember that the ogres couldn't revive Mother. The horses were again whipped to a gallop. But the ogres would be beyond the sheep in a minute. We'd be at their mercy again. I shouted to Hattie and Olive and to the coachman and footman, yell so you can't hear them. The coachman understood first and joined my voice with his, shouting words I'd never heard before. Then Hattie began, eat me last, she shrieked. But it was Olive who saved us. Her wordless roar drowned out thought. I don't know how. She drew breath. The sun was unending. It continued as we passed the outlying homes of Jen while the ogres faded from sight and while I recovered from my fright. Quiet, Ollie, Hattie said. Nobody's going to be eaten. You're giving me a headache. But Olive didn't hush until the coachman stopped the carriage, came inside with us, and slapped her smartly across the face. Sorry, miss, he said, and popped back out. Okay. That was kind of endearing, Olive. Finishing school was in an ordinary wooden house, except for its enormous ornamental shrubs, pruned into the shapes of wide-skirted maidens. It might have been the home of any not-so-prosperous merchant. I had hoped the lunch portions were generous. The door opened as we drove up, and an erect, gray-haired lady strutted down the walkway to our carriage. Welcome, young ladies. She swept into the smoothest curtsy I'd ever seen. We curtsied in return. She waved a hand at me. But who is this? I spoke quickly before Hattie could explain me in a way I didn't want to be explained. I'm Ella, madame. My father is Sir Peter of Frel. He wrote a letter. From my carpet bag I extracted my father's letter and the purse he'd given me. She tucked the letter in the purse, after weighing it expertly in her palm, into her apron pocket. What a lovely surprise. I had Madame Edith, headmistress of your new home. Welcome, or I am, sorry, not I have. Welcome to our humble establishment. She curtsied again. I wish she'd stop. My right knee cracked when I went down. We just had lunch. God, so much for generous portions. And we are sitting down to our embroidery. The young ladies are anxious to meet you, and it's never too soon to start being finished. She ushered us into a large, sunny room. Young ladies, she announced, here are 3 new friends for you. A roomful of maidens rose, curtsied, and resumed their seats. Each one wore a pink gown with a yellow hair ribbon. My gown was stained and wrinkled from the journey. My hair was probably limp and unkempt. Back to work, ladies, Madame Edith said. The sewing mistress will help the new pupils. I lowered myself into a chair near the door and stared defiantly at the elegance around me. I met the eyes of a girl about my age. She smiled hesitantly. Maybe my look softened because her smile grew, and she winked. Please let her have a real friend. Just one real friend. Sewing mistress approached, bearing a needle, an assortment of colored thread, and a round white linen marked with a design of flowers. I was to follow the outline and stitch the flowers. I lost my place, sorry. I was to follow the outline and stitch the flowers and thread. The cloth could then cover a pillow or the back of a chair. After she explained what to do, sewing mistress left me, assuming I would know how to do it. But I never before held a needle. Although I watched the other girls, I could not thread it. I struggled for a quarter hour till sewing mistress rushed to my side. This child has been raised by ogres, or worse, she exclaimed, snatching it away from me. Hold it delicately, it's not a spear. One brings... excuse me. One brings the thread to it. She threaded the needle with green thread and returned it to me. I held it delicately, as ordered. Oh, wait, could you order her to be good at things she wasn't good at? I wonder. She left my side and I stared stupidly at my task. Then I stuck the needle into the outline of a rose. My head ached from lack of food. You have to knot the end of the thread and start underneath. The speaker was the lass who had winked at me. She had pulled her chair next to mine. The sewing mistress will ridicule you if you sew a green rose. Roses have to be red or pink or yellow if you're daring. Excuse me. A pink gown similar to the one she wore was spread across her lap. She bent her head over it to make a tiny stitch. Her dark hair was plaited into many braids that were gathered and woven into a knot high in her head. Her skin was the color of cinnamon with a tint of raspberry in her cheeks. Couldn't help thinking of food. Her lips curved up naturally, giving her a pleased and contented air. Her name was Areta, and her family lived in Amanta, city just over the border in Eortha. She spoke with an Eorthian accent, smacking her lips after the letter M and pronouncing her L's as Y's. Abinza Uchiuanja Ubensu. I hope this was Ayurthayan, for I'm pleased to meet you. I learned it from a parent. She smiled at me ecstatically. Ubenzu Akamu Ayortha? I only know a few words, I confessed. She was miserably disappointed. It would have been so nice to have someone to talk to in my language. You could teach me. Your accent is good, she said doubtfully, but writing mistress teaches Ayorthian to everyone, and no one has picked it up at all. I have a knack for languages. She started to teach me right then. Once heard, always remembered is the way with languages and me. By the end of the hour, I was forming short sentences. Rita was delighted. Uchiua bensu ev tame oigento, I asked. Do you like finishing school? She shrugged. You don't? Is it terrible? I asked, reverting to Kyrian. A shadow fell across my lap. My neglected sewing, I'm sorry. Sewing mistress picked up my pillow cover and announced dramatically, 3 stitches in all this time. 3 vast, messy stitches, like 3 teeth in a toothless gum. Go to your room and stay there until it is time for bed. No supper for you tonight. I also don't like people who use food as punishment. That happened to me. I hate it. It's terrible. It is a horrible thing. My stomach growled so loudly that the whole room must have heard it. Hattie smirked at me. She couldn't have planned better herself. It wouldn't add to her pleasure. I'm not hungry, I announced. Oh, God. Then you may do without breakfast as well for your impertinence. No. Hate these people. No. No, don't do that to kids. This book is making me a ball of stress. Okay, I'm going to make another video and read chapter 10. Ugh.